Hello, fellow targeted individuals. This file that I received today came from the FBI headquarters, and I discovered something very interesting. The report is false. Now, I went to the FBI headquarters. Let me see here what date they have on here. They have a form here. Let me share it with you guys. Hold on one second. Let me cover up my information. This was back in 2015. It's the visitor information form. The security gave it to me. I'm covering up my name because it has my social and other personal information. But they gave me a snapshot of my face. Also, let me see if I can share this report. Okay, no criminal record there in New Mexico. And this is what the FBI put down on my complaint right here. Now, I never mentioned anything about having suffered head trauma. I wasn't even there 42 seconds. See, I went to the FBI because I had contacted the main FBI office and they hung up the phone on me repeatedly. I never got to explain why I was calling. When I called, they said, "What's your name? What's your issue?" I said, "My name." They went, click. This is the exact report that I made to the FBI. Since they copied it, you can't really see it too well. But I put down gang stalking and harassment and cyber attacks. You can't really read it all because the printer, I guess, it didn't print out very well. So on my channel called First Amendment to the United States Constitution, the image on that channel is an image of a lady's car from Virginia. See, when I had moved to Albuquerque, New Mexico, a lady from Virginia had moved in right across from my apartment. And I caught her with this little metal, it's like a real thin piece of metal, messing with my box. So I asked her, "What are you doing?" So I had to get tools to take this piece of metal out. And there were a few times where neighbors told me, "This lady's watching you." So I want to put my files away. I don't want to drop this, so I'm just going to point it this way while I'm putting it away. So this lady, her image is on my channel called First Amendment to the United States Constitution. I had to unlist my videos because I had received a lot of threats and harassment in the state of Texas. So I moved to Texas, and I have a video. You can see it. It's on a playlist called City of Austin Video Files. Go on YouTube, search for City of Austin Video Files, scroll down to the very bottom and click on the City of Austin playlist. And you'll see a video about FEMA and its Citizens Corps programs. And some other videos, which are pretty interesting. So I find it really interesting that I've also had encounters with the FBI in Austin, Texas. One of the videos I have on that playlist is called FBI, and I think it's called Neurolinguistic Programming. And it shows a video of a car with the FBI tag and a weird encounter at a gas station with a bunch of red cars. So check it out. And then I have videos from New Mexico where I'm typing and you see the line, like where I'm typing at, go all the way back up to the top. And I've documented this here just a few days ago. Hold on one second, let me pause this camera. So just a few days ago, I went on Facebook and I was typing on my phone. And I noticed that the line where I'm typing at goes all the way up to the back, to the very top. This is happening on my computers, on any computer I use. And this started happening after I had an encounter with a group called the Central Intelligence Agency at a community college, where I was confronted in the van, not the van, the SUV had the CIA logo. And a guy that would confront me at libraries showed up there because he kept trying to get me to join this clandestine Masonic organization. And what I mean by clandestine, it's a lodge that's not recognized by the main Masonic networks tied to Freemasonry. So if you're a target and you find false reports on yourself, if it's with the Fusion Center, it's going to be really hard to change that because they're not bound to the Privacy Act request. But with the FBI, they are. So you can request an amendment. Now, I'm going to place a link about these amendments underneath this video. You can request an amendment to that document, sharing your side of the story. And if they refuse, you can file a Form 95. And if they still refuse, you can take them to court. They have to amend your records. So if you say that what they're saying is false, they can still keep their statement, but you can mention yours. See, when I went to the FBI, I never mentioned anything about a head injury. I was there for 42 seconds. Now, I talked to a guy, a security guard. I did the paperwork. Then the FBI agent came out about 5 minutes later, and we talked for like 42, 43 seconds. Told my name, told me I suffer from some cyber attacks. I had moved there with 6 new computers. I have witnesses. They're all gone, and I've experienced some weird stuff by some people from Virginia, and I had the videos, and I want to share them. They're like, we're not going to help. So I left. They stated in the report that I was angry. I was never angry. I never said a word to them. After that, I just left because they weren't going to help me. They refused. So they never investigated. They never even asked me or reached out to me and said, hey, we want to help you. They never did. So I go to Texas, and then I'm harassed by the same groups that I was harassed prior to moving to Albuquerque. So I find it really interesting is that I have a false fusion center report on me in Texas, in Austin, Texas. And I shared it. It's in the first link of an old Twitter channel I no longer use because they deleted like thousands of subscribers. So I got people that are pissed at me. And the channel is restricted 75921 is the Twitter channel. Click on the first link, and police told me to go there, so I went there. And then they tried to set me up with a trespassing charge. So they ended up giving me a warning citation. I would have fought it in court and hired a lawyer because the police told me to go there. The police station on the very side of the Fusion Center told me to go there. It's on North Lamar. It's the Austin, Texas Fusion Center. Then they lied and said I tried to piggyback into the Fusion Center. I never piggybacked. The janitor had the door wide open and said, come on in. I went to the front desk, told them what I was trying to do, and they told me where to go to. And then from there, I was pretty much entrapped. And what's really interesting is that when I was there, 3 members of the FBI showed up there. One for the FBI's Joint Counterterrorism Task Force, very nice guy. The other 2 are employed by the local Austin FBI field office, which I find it to be really interesting because this lady that works with these people that was harassing me in the community and at 2 clinics, she's employed by the FBI. So the FBI is not an honest organization. They're a dishonest organization. Now I have to get these files amended. Hello, fellow TIs. As you guys can see, this CD is from 2020. And one day I drove over 20 miles from my residence, and then I go to a Wawa gas station. Let me remove the zoom. And a guy pulls up next to my vehicle playing the same exact CD from 2020. And I asked him, what kind of speakers you have? He says, oh, I have 4 12-inch speakers. He's playing this full blast. So it made me think. It's like, playing the same exact CD. Maybe it's a coincidence. This guy looked very, like a gangster. But this is like real peaceful, soothing music. So I started having really weird experiences in the Winter Garden, Florida area, and I typed up Central Intelligence Agency, Winter Garden, Florida, and what came up was 2 jobs in that area. One was for the NSA, one was for the CIA. So I drive around and I see this place is called CIA Maid Service. It's on Google. You can just type up CIA Maid Service. It's owned by one person. It's registered as a foreign business. And just a short walk away, 1 block away, you can see it from the apartment, is a dark web monitoring service. So I'm not into the dark web, but that's a good thing we have those type of services. Right across the street from a police station. So we got the CIA working there. We got little businesses, which I believe are fronts for the CIA. We've got a CIA maid service registered as a foreign business, but it's owned by one person. I'm like, So what the CIA does is, especially if you're a targeted individual, let's say you're parked over there, and then when you get out of the supermarket, you notice that all the cars are pink next to you, or maybe white, or white and black. What they like to do is try to sensitize the target to stimuli and do a lot of street theater, organized harassment. For a year I wasn't harassed here, and I turned on my cell phone and removed Bluetooth, the airplane mode, and something really interesting occurred. This Jewish guy parks next to my vehicle, and I'm parked. My car's, I pulled in, reversed it, so I bought some food at Burger King, like I did just a minute ago. And the guy gets out of his vehicle, walks all the way around to my side, my window's down, he whistles, and he walks back to his car and he leaves. So it's not my opinion, it's what I know from what I've seen. The Central Intelligence Agency may be a Jewish organization like the NSA, Department of State, HHS, and these different groups, because from what I've seen in every state, these groups don't respond back. I have videos of being harassed by Jewish people. I have videos a year ago from right where I'm at right now. I'll go shopping and these three people come, it was a lady and two guys, walk up to me, my family, and they go, shh, really loud, then they walk out. So I got the tags and discovered some really interesting stuff. These guys all have a military background, and one of them is Jewish. There's another one I'm researching. I think she's a cop. I'm not 100% sure. It's from a while back. Another one came up as a police officer for this area, but they haven't harassed me again. It was only that one time. So when you're in this, the enemy may do little skits. There was times I'll go shopping and then or watch a movie with a relative. We get back to the car and we notice odd stuff, like 8 pink cars. And right when we're getting back, all these people are leaving. And we notice this pattern where it was systematic.
Proceed to highlighted route.
If you see a pattern like that, hold on one second, I'm going to back up, this car won't let me. So if you see a pattern like that, it could be the Central Intelligence Agency. Now I have a video of a lady. She's her LinkedIn profile states that she's worked as a contractor for the CIA. I found her business, and it has clothing, and it has words like radical feminist on the clothing. Found it to be really interesting. She owns a business. So the Central Intelligence Agency appears to be hiring a lot of minorities. That's a good thing, because as you can see, I'm a minority myself. I'm Puerto Rican. So, you know, I'm white. I'm Puerto Rican, so I'm a minority. And in the early 2000s, I had encounters with the Central Intelligence Agency, people from the Langley area. And what the CIA does is they like to travel. These people will travel that are doing this sometimes to different states. So interstate stalking is common amongst like groups like the CIA, and you'll even find members of the FBI doing interstate gang stalking. So never assume if you live in Orlando and drive to Lakeland to buy, like I did, an antique painting, bunch of Armani shirts, that you're dealing with your local FBI. Sometimes these people are CIA contractors, and the FBI has no idea what's going on at all. And there could be some cases where they do know, and where they outsource, and they don't feel bad about it because they're not doing it. So in their opinion, hey, we're the good guys. Now, I have a lot of video proof and a lot of files about everything that I share. I have a lot of proof on the U.S. Army from multiple states, going back half my life. So I believe that the Central Intelligence Agency utilizes, discreetly at times, without the Army's permission, members of the U.S. Army. Because I visited a relative in Savannah, Georgia. It's 2 different relatives. They both died. And the last 2 times I spent with them, I spent being harassed. One time at Icon Park in Orlando, Florida, a guy came in a white van, another one with a U.S. Army outfit. U.S. Air Force outfit. Another time, while we're eating, this is when I was in my late 20s. I'm almost 50. And they came in and someone reported an active shooter threat. And I'm eating with my family. And then I have a video from 3 years ago. I'm going to place a link underneath. I'm going to make sure my camera's not dying out. I'm going to place a link underneath this video. And it's a guy that he used to be an ex-NYPD cop. When I shared the files on this guy on Facebook, I was threatened days later by a Jewish guy. And this guy told me, he says, you might want to start taking down your videos on our buddy. He mentioned the county and all this stuff. So I was like, that's your problem.
In 1/4 mile, turn left, then turn
It's my
right.
opinion that our government, our intelligence apparatus, has people that they've made their way into these positions because they're paying off politicians through lobbyists. That's what I believe. Because how can I be dealing with Israelis, radical feminists, and Jews in every state that I've moved to and be harassed by neighbors? And it hasn't happened again, but one time I confronted one of my neighbors. He lives right here at this house. On the front door, it says that this house is owned by the city. And it has the city's name of the town on there. And at one time, other local politicians lived in that house. So it's not a HUD house. So I don't know if they work for the city. Maybe. I don't know. But I do know one thing. I talked to this guy, and he told me they were in fear for their children's safety. And it was because of me. And then I was starting to get harassed by people wearing blue shirts as a group. So whoever was behind this has to be some type of clandestine agency. So I've dealt with this crap state by state.